juniors, and welcome back to Computer Systems and Programming. For this video, we are going to be learning how to use loops in Python. So open the clips, make a new project called loops, download the loops outline.py, then move the .py into the loops project folder and use that outline to take notes while watching this video. Loops are very similar to conditional statements. For conditional statements, if a condition is true, then a block of code happens. For loops, it's the same concept, but the block of code keeps happening as long as the condition is true. So while a condition is true, a block of code will repeat. Now the structure of a loop is a little complex, just like conditional statements. There are two types of loops, while loops and for loops. A while loop repeats itself as long as the condition within the parentheses is true. So here is an example of a loop counting. If I have I equals 0, and then the code while I is less than 10 in parentheses with the colon, we're going to print I, which is tabbed in, and then I have the equation I equals I plus 1. So what's happening is I is 0, which is less than 10. So the program enters the loop. Then the program prints out I. Then the program increases I by making it 1. Then the program checks if the condition is still true. I is 1, which is less than 10. So the loop repeats. And it repeats the cycle over and over until the condition is no longer met. Since this loop adds 1 to I every time, eventually I will equal 10. Then the condition will no longer be met, and the program will exit the loop. A for loop works by going through an iterable. An iterable is something that can return its items one at a time. So a string is something that can return its items one at a time. A list can return one item at a time as well. So here is an example of a for loop. Say I have var equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For x in var, with a colon, print x. This loop goes through the iterable variable var. Var is a list, and for each item in var, the loop prints out the item. Another thing that can be used with loops is the break statement. All it does is ends the loop when it gets to that statement. Let's use the for loop from before to exemplify this. So if I have var equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for x in var, colon, print x, tab down, if x equals 4 in parentheses, colon, and then we add break. Now we have added an if statement to check for when x equals 4. If the x equals 4, then the loop ends. So the program would print out 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then after printing 4, it would check and find that x equals 4. And the loop would end, meaning 5 and 6 don't get printed. They are normally used with an if statement because you normally only want to break the loop on certain conditions. I am now going to be moving on to some of the common errors that are made when working with loops. Remember, an error or bug is something that is wrong in the program. There are two types of errors, syntax errors and logic errors. For while loops, missing the parentheses around the conditional statement, missing the colon, not having the code block tabbed in, and having a broken condition. There aren't common logic errors because it normally depends on case by case, but the logic errors are normally problems with the conditional statements. That is it for the practice video, so when you complete the outline, you can upload that to GitHub and submit it. Then you can move on to downloading the loopsdrills.py from Canvas and put that file in your loops project folder and complete and submit that. Once that is done, you can move on to the debugloops.py by downloading it from Canvas and putting that file in the same folder your other two assignments are in. Once you complete these 3 assignments, you will be done with the loops module. Please let me know if you have any further questions or concerns. You can do that by emailing me or attending my student hours. But if you don't, I will see you all later.